Hi, I hope everyone's having a wonderful day today. In this reading, I'm going to do some love notes from your person. This is going to be a message cards only reading, and there are 3 groups to choose from. Group 1 is the Selenite heart. Group 2 is the Mookaite Jasper heart. And group 3 is the Amazonite heart. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups or possibly all of the groups that you are most drawn to. I'll give you a minute to make your selection and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps in the description box of the video for each group if you'd like to jump ahead. And up next is a close-up photo of the crystals to help you better make your selection. Hi, Group 1. You chose the Selenite heart. So let's see, what does your person want you to know right now from their higher self? We have, thank you. You have opened my eyes and mind to so much I never would have known or thought was possible. My consciousness has expanded because of you. So you've reshaped the way in which this person views love, views loyalty, views potential within relationships. It feels like they are encouraged by you through your fearless authenticity to reveal more of who they truly are inside. This is somebody who's getting ready to take off their mask, stop with the performance, stop trying to kind of fit into the expectations of what previous lovers have demanded of them. This is somebody who's starting to embrace rejected parts of themselves and almost kind of test the waters as far as like, other people couldn't appreciate these facets of who I am, but maybe you're the heart that is meant to receive me totally. And so far what they've done as far as showing you certain things or embodying certain qualities about themselves that they have learned to reject or other people have rejected, it's had very positive results in terms of you're still open to communicating with them, you're still showing up, you're appreciating them. Little efforts that they may make in addition to that sort of unique facets of their love language, ways in which they want to express their adoration and loyalty to you in return, have been very well received. This could be somebody who's used to being like taken for granted or misunderstood. Efforts that they've made for people, platonic, familial, other lovers in the past that just sort of people were oblivious to the effort or, kind of just brushed it off or might have taken things the wrong way. It's like it very naturally sort of fits in with positive reinforcement coming from you. You find these things endearing. You recognize the effort. You celebrate, their displays of love and affection towards you in a very unique way, or just aspects about themselves that haven't often been celebrated by other people. And so this is almost a sense of somebody who's evolving beyond a concept of like, maybe I'm not lovable as I am, maybe I just need to constantly kind of keep up this charade or this performance in order to keep people in my life so I'm not lonely or alone. And there's a sense of you're a breath of fresh air, you bring forth an expansiveness from them that's helping them to move beyond those kind of limited patterns and wounds. And we also have, I knew I'd never remember what you wore the day we met, but I also knew I never would forget the way you looked. So it feels like this is somebody that they're wanting to kind of capture that spark, that essence between the two of you, something that they're thinking back on in terms of like the love or affection that has grown for you, and they're almost like retracing their steps. What within them might have known that you were the one when they first encountered you, or was so moved towards you or like magnetized towards you that has helped to make sense of like every closed door, every roadblock they've experienced in the past. It's with a lot of gratitude that they're wanting to celebrate you, the future that's possible between the two of you, kind of the twists and turns of your journey, even if you've had some ups and downs with one another. And this may be kind of this energy of like opening up. This could be somebody who's trying to reconcile or bring forth like extra effort or energy that they were afraid to in the past, that was lacking in the past, that they weren't ready to present in the past. It's a sense of like, you mean so much to me, you matter so much, I set you apart from all others. I've known right from the start that you are exceptional, that we did not just come into one another's lives accidentally. And whatever you've been through with one another, wherever you're at right now in the connection, it's like this needs to be celebrated, this needs to be cherished, this needs to be honored. So it feels like it excites them and makes them feel very enthusiastic, the idea of exploring new ways to kind of show up in this situation that's beyond what they've done already at this point. We also have, you are my light, and it doesn't matter what happens in this life as long as you are with me. When I look at you, I know that there is a God and that he loves me so much that he took the time to create you just for me. So this is like match made in heaven energy. This is something where without knowing it, or perhaps, this person is like giving you some indicators, you have been their solid, grounded place through a lot of turbulence. They have leaned upon you energetically. The time you spent with one another has been meaningful, more than just, I'm enjoying myself, I'm having a good time. But it's almost like in their darkest hour, they ask themselves, what would you do in this situation? They reach out for you energetically, or, just kind of like looking at your picture, hearing your voice, spending time with you. It lights them up inside. It gives them a reassurance that everything will be okay. Things will get better, that they'll get through whatever turbulence they're experiencing, or you'll get through that together. You're somebody that they see has really been in their corner. They may have experienced a lot of people who sort of left them high and dry, people that they thought were sort of their ride or dies in life, that have abandoned them or have shown, hey, there's a limit to that. You need to show up in a precise way, or I'm not on board with kind of being with you through thick and thin. And so this is somebody who might have had some kind of like harsh awakenings as far as the true intentions of people that they thought were kind of very close to them, ways in which in their times of struggle, others that they've been there for have not like reciprocated that same support, compassion, open-mindedness, or understanding. But with you, it's almost, even within the silence, you're always a welcoming space for this person. You're somebody that might have seen kind of the good, the bad, and the ugly within them to a certain degree, and yet you've been willing to kind of try to understand, try to hold space for them and for who they are, while also demonstrating like fearless self-love, sort of, setting healthy boundaries where necessary, not sugarcoating things, giving this person very direct truths, honest answers, good advice, that there's almost a sense of, you are somebody that they know really has their best interests at heart. And so they're very grateful for having crossed paths with you. And it feels like you're almost kind of like you're a guardian angel of sorts, something that is kind of like an earth angel, like you're this embodiment of sort of this ability that they have to kind of like navigate through the twists and turns of life and still come out on top, still come out winning, because they have you and they have this connection, and whatever stage you're at with one another, it's like, this is worth fighting for. This is worth doing what it takes in order to preserve this, protect it, pull you in closer to their reality, shelter that love that is blossoming between the two of you, or that exists between the two of you, because it's tried and true. It's withstood some kind of tests that they've put it through, or just your circumstances have put it through. And it's like, in the end, for all those people that have revealed themselves to be just like fair weather friends or companions, you're the person that is like standing the test of time with them. They also say, you are the sunshine of my life. You bring joy and light even in my darkest times. Yes, this person may have been going through a rough phase. They may have had some things they needed to walk away from, some losses, some challenges in life. And there's a sense that even if you've had some distance between the two of you, that they're very conscious of the fact that, like, You come to them in dreams. They're able to, access your energy kind of in the busyness of their day or in the quiet times. They're able to feel you as like this radiance that provides them with a lot of peace, a lot of reassurance, a lot of encouragement, even just energetically, to kind of keep up the good work, keep the faith, keep their pace, to get through things. There's a sense that you help them to kind of see a side of themselves that is better than they are able to kind of view themselves at otherwise. It's almost like when this person may get into kind of like defeatist thoughts or a lot of struggle and pressure that they're going under, just seeing you, seeing your face, hearing your voice, spending time with you, or just energetically connecting with you in kind of their quiet thoughts or within the heart space, it has the ability to kind of shift their perspectives, to kind of recharge them in a way that helps them to sort of look for solutions rather than wallow or remain very overwhelmed by their circumstances. It's almost like you encourage them to keep trying, to keep putting one foot in front of the other, to ride the waves of change and to not give up hope. They also say, I love you with all that I am. So this person is definitely thinking about long-term plans with you, how to come back into your life if you're in separation and have a do-over, kind of go back to the start and learn one another again, evolve beyond sort of the pitfalls that have happened in this situation. If this is somebody that you're still in contact with, there's a sense of, I want to deepen our bond. I want to create more of an understanding, certainty, strength between the two of us, because you've been my strength. You've been my light in the darkest hour. And I want to be that for you. I want us to be there for each other, that you are one of the most valuable people in their life, one of the most valuable relationships they have ever had. And so they've really crossed some kind of threshold maybe of wondering if it was too soon to like open their heart up to you totally, or struggling with a feeling of being like disempowered by surrendering to this love, wounds of the past, and kind of a concept of self that might have made them struggle to see how lovable and worthy they are, just as themselves. And you've stood by them through this maybe even like silent struggle within. And the more they're coming into the understanding that even in their messiest aspects, they are perfect as they are, worthy and deserving of love, just as they are in this moment, when the times when they feel weakest and when they feel empowered, that doesn't change their worthiness to give and receive love, not just with anyone, but with you and in this situation. And so this feels like somebody that is wanting to really celebrate that, wanting to acknowledge that, wanting to credit you very obviously with, being there for them, helping them to see the bigger picture through your living example or through the exchanges that you've had with one another, to work to fix anything that's been broken between the two of you, and to strengthen your commitment with one another moving forward. They also say, forever in my mind, heart, and soul, only you. Yeah, so this person, it feels like, has cut off the idea that they need to continue to search the world for that perfect person. They have found that person, and it is you. And so this is somebody that's taking steps, it feels like, to cut out distractions, move beyond limiting and low vibrational patterns, relationships that only benefit a broken version of them, or concepts of brokenness that sort of called certain things into their reality. They're throwing that all away. This is somebody who may be trying to generate a fresh start for themselves, level up in some kind of way. And although they're making changes for themselves and like stepping into a better version of self, there's also the idea of like, I want to create a future with you in mind. I want us to leave a legacy of personal empowerment for others to see, for others to witness. This love story has changed this person for the better. You've brought them home to themselves in a very profound way. And there's a sense of, I don't want anyone else by my side. I don't need anyone else by my side. You are perfect for me in the messiest parts of who I am and the most orderly parts of who I am. You fit in with that story so perfectly. They also say, you are the absolute best thing that's ever happened to me. Yeah, so this is somebody who might have been very afraid to kind of trust in this love fully at like earlier stages of your connection, wounds of their past that hadn't quite healed, even if they might have thought, I'm ready to meet someone, I'm ready for love, and then you encountered one another, or if this was something that it was like pure serendipity that you crossed paths with each other. There's a sense of when you first connected or like earlier on in your connection, they thought they might have been kind of ready to move forward with their life, but a lot of wounds of the past could have resurfaced. This could have led to a lot of back and forth, a lot of times where this person sort of like doubted themselves, doubted the connection, doubted you, and they've moved beyond a lot of that within themselves. They've closed a lot of doors to their past. They have looked this fear in the face, seen it for what it is, and recognized that no matter kind of their shortcomings in previous relationships or how people did them dirty in the past, that this is a different circumstance. You're a different person. That they didn't just go through all of that in order to, kind of be stuck perpetually in a pattern of wounding. And so this is somebody who's becoming very assertive to break free of that, the limitation, the tendency to kind of like doubt or question, sort of like, am I worthy of love? Is this just going to be history repeating itself? Am I doomed to kind of failure in terms of romance? Like you've shown them a different face of love, that the efforts that they put in to kind of like move beyond circumstances that hurt them previously, it has yielded very positive results in terms of they've magnetized you into their reality. You've magnetized them in. You've had your ups and downs. You both maybe have needed some time apart from one another to kind of grow and heal and evolve. And this is somebody who's like wanting to come back together, wanting to take things to the next level, wanting to be very direct with their energy, very focused on like you and them and the situation here. The past doesn't matter. Other people from other chapters of their life that, might have done certain things. They're recognizing that like this is a different circumstance. There's no reason to compare and contrast. There's no reason to kind of be hyper vigilant for like red flags or, kind of keep you at arm's length. So this is somebody that's wanting to like bring you in closer, open their heart to you more, and kind of pour forth some of that truth that they might have held inside, or somebody who is ready to receive the love that you've been trying to give to them. I also say, you are my dream come true. So you are their answered prayer. You are the person that helps to explain why nothing worked out with other people before, that even in kind of the worst experiences in romance, it was shaping this person. It was an opportunity to kind of rise from the ashes like a phoenix reborn, in order to align with you, in order for your paths to cross, or even in the challenges that you faced with one another in the course of this connection. There's almost a sense of like this romance, this love story has the power to stand the test of time. It has the power to shelter us both as we are going through periods of personal transformation, and together we can step into a very transformative experience of love for ourselves, and then how that's modeled for others as well. They also say, I don't tell you this enough, and I should. I am so proud of you. So any efforts that you've made to kind of, face your own shadow, do some healing, close out old cycles and patterns, strive for abundance, come to a place of acceptance and peace with your past, with the journey that's led you to this moment in time, and kind of look optimistically towards the future, or make the most of your situation if that's all you're able to do. Whatever that looks like for you, this person has acknowledged that you may keep your struggles to yourself. You may be very stoic. It may be something where, even when you're having like a tough day, you show up for them in a way that is supportive, without departing from your own needs. You're a very generous person emotionally, actually, in terms of your time, attention, and care for others. And it's something that it feels like this person is very grateful for your presence in their life, for the living example that you have set for them as far as transcending limits of the past, or coming to a greater place of self-compassion and self-love that might have only been a theory to them before, or something they were totally unaware of, and then they've met you, they've seen you in action, and it's motivated them to, make some difficult decisions, process some pain, make the conscientious choice to kind of not let the past dictate the inevitability of the future for them. So this is somebody that is wanting to take things to the next level with you, is wanting to do what they can in order to ensure that this connection has staying power, that you're not drifting further apart, or if you're apart, that distance doesn't create to compound, but it's almost like, I want to come home to you, I want to come home to us, I want to work together as a team to kind of move into this next phase of our lives, or of this connection in a very helpful and healthy way with each other. So let's get some initials. This can be a first, middle, or last name, or can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got L, G, N, S, H, E, A, R, M, D, W, G, V, H, P, Y, D, W, C, A, and U. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 2. You chose the Mookaite Jasper heart. So let's see, what does your person want you to know right now from their higher self? So they say, I want to co-create with you. So this person may want to start a family with you, start a business with you, start the next phase of your connection. It's almost like you inspire this person to step outside the boundaries of the life that they were living, the vision that they had for the future. There's a sense of you've opened up new possibilities for them. They feel like the most powerful and best version of themselves when they are with you. If you've given this person feedback, encouragement, support as far as goals that they're working towards, dreams that they've kind of deferred for a while or recently, and you've motivated them to just put themselves out there, start with where they are, work with what they have, and kind of do what they can. This is somebody who feels very successful with that. Very much like you are somebody who gives good advice. You have a lot of wisdom. With you in their corner, there's almost a sense of like that they are unstoppable. This could be somebody that their inner critic is very harsh on them, or they've kind of lived their life playing it safe in a lot of ways, romantically, even in terms of just the life they've built for themselves. And there's a sense of you encourage them to kind of step into more of a visionary energy, to take calculated risks, to put themselves out there in life and in love in a way that isn't the default for them. And it's had very successful results. Even if it's ruffled feathers of other people, there's a sense of, I feel better about myself. I feel very empowered. I feel very free. Like they feel free to be themselves even in your presence. You understand them, or you work very well with one another. They also say, leap of faith, Baby, I have plummeted into the rabbit hole with you. So this person is like head over heels in love with you. They're fascinated by the way your mind works, the way you view reality, your goals and priorities, challenges that you've been through and how you've come out the other side of that as a stronger person, a more self-assured person, a more ruthless person, a more compassionate person, just everything about you, everything that they've discovered. Maybe this is somebody that's known you for a while and they've witnessed this evolution firsthand, that it's like night and day who you've become. And so it's somebody that it is inspiring them as well to not place limits on themselves in terms of what's possible, who it is possible for them to become, what it is possible for them to achieve in this lifetime. They're definitely seeing that you've come into one another's lives for a very precise reason. They may feel you have some kind of like shared mission, shared purpose, shared goal, or even if these are like different kind of personal goals or purposes in this lifetime, it's almost like you support one another very well along those parallel paths, to where they're looking to you as like their biggest cheerleader, but also somebody who could give them constructive criticism, and they're not going to get defensive. They're not going to like take it personally or emotionally. It's like, no, you have some really good ideas. What you are saying speaks to the truth of the raw potential within me. And this is somebody that is like accessing that, harnessing that, and actualizing that in the material world. And it feels like they're wanting to do that as well with this connection. Reach in deep and kind of see, what is some uncharted territory between the two of us? What are some ways that we can dive in deeper with one another? Do things with one another, romantically speaking, that has never been explored with other people. How can we both be showing up in a more truthful way within this situation, without limits, without inhibitions, without kind of the fear of being judged or seen in that kind of vulnerable energy? And they also say, I didn't believe in love at first sight until I locked eyes with you. Yeah, so this is somebody that has known for a while that you are special, you are unique, you are someone, I'm hearing, I've got to have you. So right when they first met you, even, they're like, I got to have that person. I've got to get to know that person. You piqued their interest. Something within them that had kind of been slumbering sort of came awake. And there's a sense of almost like every moment that they've spent with you, every opportunity they've had to just witness you living your life, not even knowing they were observing or not even caring who's watching. This is a sense of almost like it has made you so endearing to them. It has made them so certain that to step forth into the adventure of love with you, or to build a life with you, that this is something that would benefit their highest good. This is like a once in a lifetime opportunity. Somebody like you doesn't come around twice in a lifetime. And a feeling like this is too rare to be ignored. They also say, I learned to love myself from seeing myself through your unconditional eyes. What a beautiful gift you've given to me. So it feels like, again, this is somebody who is making changes in their life for the better, changing, the internal landscape. Anything that has been like a mistake or a shortcoming or a fault from the past, failures from the past that might have caused them to be very limited in terms of like expressing their truth, going towards things in life, even showing up in romantic relationships openly and authentically. You've inspired this person to not allow negativity of the past to sort of limit the positivity of what is possible in the future. So this is somebody that feels very invigorated in your presence. You're a breath of fresh air. You're helping this person to kind of turn a new leaf in their life. And in terms of how they've showed up in romance, there's a part of them that has been very untouched by sorrow, by loss, by sadness, by disappointment, by rejection. They've been kind of secreting it away inside of themselves. It's like a treasure within their heart. And there's a sense of, you've come into my world, you've come into my reality, and it feels like you are the person who is worthy to receive this beautiful gift that I hold inside, because you've helped me to see its presence, its worthiness, that it's a part of me, that it's who I am. No matter the mistakes I've made, no matter how the world judges me, you have helped me to return home to this knowledge that it's really only my opinion of myself that matters. So it feels like you've actively helped this person to move beyond like a defeatist attitude or something where they almost might have been trying to grovel or like make up for things in the past that couldn't be changed, kind of like hesitant to sort of live life fully out of a fear of just replicating old cycles. They're releasing all of that. They're releasing themselves from these chains or this kind of bondage that they put themselves in. A lot of guilt and shame that has kind of kept them living in a very small and kind of tightly packed life. And there's a sense of expansiveness. Like, I want something more. I'm ready for a change. I'm ready to release myself from this pity party and step forth with kind of looking at the world through the eyes of a child with sort of innocence and wonder, looking at love and looking at connection as, not what could go wrong, but what could go right. They also say, nobody has ever or will ever make me feel the things you do. Yeah, so this again is like a once in a lifetime connection, a very rare opportunity. They recognize that. There's a sense that the things that you talk about with one another, or even just hearing the sound of your voice, brings a lot of calm, soothing, and certainty to them. It's like you speak to this person's soul. They may be somebody who sort of like thinks about the things that you say to them or that you've said to other people, maybe things you post on social media. And it's truly food for thought. It's something that you provide almost like a map forward that is very individualized for the lives of the people you come into contact with, and for this person that helps them to navigate through like a labyrinth of challenges inside that they might not have even known there was a way forth from, or that they even were in to begin with. And there's a sense of almost like, I feel like I'm a more self-assured person because I have gotten the experience of like being in your presence. You harmonize something inside of me that helps me see the way through and beyond illusions that I didn't even know were keeping me in a limited version of myself. They also say, you are everything I've ever wanted and everything I didn't even know I needed, all wrapped up in one stunning package. So this can almost be the energy of what might have seemed at the outset of this connection as like an opposites attract situation. But the more they've spent time with you, they've gotten to know you. And as a result of that, they've kind of like gotten to know themselves. They sort of look at what you've presented, what you've modeled, and how that mirrors something within. They're seeing that you're just two peas in a pod. You really are very similar. You're like the echo of one another. This is something that is like best friend and lover energy all wrapped up in one. There's a sense of you help to kind of make sense of aspects of them that other people might not have understood, that they might not have understood about themselves. They're starting to have a different relationship with themselves, and this is creating a ripple effect in terms of interpersonal relationships around them, things that they're involved with in terms of like career, finance, money, like everything is on its kind of upward turn, because there's a sense of they've created more alignment within themselves just by, the experience of you, just since you've come into their life. There may have been like turbulence or chaos, periods of time where they could have like resisted or been questioning this, but they've reached some kind of place of surrender within. They've had some sort of breakthrough within their own personal journey or in kind of dealing with their feelings for you and kind of the idea of this connection, or, again, this like opposites attract sort of energy that they've now come into a place of just accepting this. You're here in their life for a reason. You're a unique individual. They are worthy of the love that you have to offer. And so it feels like from this place of really just allowing the exchange of energy between the two of you and who you are as a person to like influence, to affect them very positively, they're seeing that ripple effect in other areas of their life. Things that were stagnant are now starting to blossom. Parts about themselves that they had just sort of locked away in a box and hadn't looked at. They're taking a look at these things. They're taking their power back from situations that had kind of stripped them of that. And in the process of that, it feels like they're able to pour more of themselves in a very successful manner into the things that matter, into the things that they want to do, or kind of looking towards the future and envisioning a very different possibility of what the years to come can look like for them as a person and for the two of you together. They also say, kiss me like our lives depend on it. So if you and this person have kissed, there's a sense that they felt like an electric jolt go through them. It was like fireworks in the moment, something that it feels like might have almost seemed cinematic, like it was out of a movie or out of a fairy tale. They've not forgotten that moment, the first kiss with you, or if this is yet to happen, it's the desire for that. It's a sense of every other interaction we've had has had such a palpable effect upon me, not just in terms of like, hey, I like hanging out with you or I'm sexually attracted to you, but my soul responds to you. That the idea of physical intimacy, even just, a first kiss, it's mind-blowing in terms of like, what will that be like? And so they're looking forward to that with a sense of anticipation, wanting some alone time with you, wanting, to kind of increase the level of intimacy with one another, or the sense of almost like heaven is found within your arms. I find myself when we are close, when we are in connection, when our bodies are able to speak these words that our ordinary senses, our mind, our logic kind of fails to encompass and translate fully. They'll say, you are my happily ever after. Yeah, so that's that storybook, fairy tale, cinematic love story. There's a sense of like, this was written in the stars. It was inevitable that we would find one another. There's a sense that they recognize that this is very rare, that it's bringing out a better version of themselves, that they are stepping into main character energy in their life. If they felt that they've been kind of, life has put them on the bench, or they just couldn't get a lucky break, or, nothing ever seemed to work out for them. It's like, since you've come into your life, or into their life, since your relationship has, developed with one another, it's a sense of, I feel like I can create solutions for myself. I have the courage to walk away from the things that are limiting, from the things that have boxed me into this lesser version of self. This is somebody who's, very excited for what the future holds between the two of you, and what can develop in this love story. They also say, loving you was never an option. It was a necessity, like oxygen. Yeah, so there's a sense of words exchanged between the two of you, the way you speak from the heart, or even your voice itself that like soothes them. It provides them with some degree of reassurance, or almost like a stillness that is very vast. It's like an infinite creative potential that exists. And there's a sense of almost like, was I ever really able to understand love prior to you coming into my reality? Was I even really alive before? Could I even really understand the meaning of life, or the value of joy and closeness with another person prior to you coming into their reality? Because since they've met you, since you've been exchanging with one another, you've been building a relationship, you've had experiences with each other, it's almost like life is becoming more vivid for them. It's becoming less of like a focus on obstacles and challenges, and more of an ability to, without guilt and shame, kind of savor the little moments, just sit in the joy of the here and now. And all of this they can credit to you, to how you live your life, and to the effect that you have upon them energetically, emotionally, and actually. So let's get some initials. This can be a first, middle, or last name, or can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got C, G, Y, L, N, V, P, D, U, M, R, W, X, D, A, O, O, F, T, S, T, and W. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 3. You chose the Amazonite heart. So let's see, what does your person want you to know right now from their higher self? So we have, I've been lost for so long and I had no idea until I was found by you. So this person is definitely asking themselves if they ever really knew what love was prior to you coming into their reality. There's a sacredness that they feel about this connection between the two of you, almost something that might make them a bit cautious in terms of opening up to you fully, taking steps forward fully, because there's a sense of once we dive in all the way with one another, this is going to change our lives forever. They may sense that there's some kind of like divine intervention at play. They may be getting a lot of signs and synchronicities related to this connection or you that give them obvious indicators of like there's a bigger purpose here than just another lesson, you know, that you might be the last first date they ever go on, the last first kiss, kind of like the search for a partner is over, and it doesn't bring kind of the sense of what they might have thought was sort of, okay, good, I found someone I get along with, I found someone I'm compatible with, I found someone I'm sexually attracted to, or, you know, we've got all this chemistry and potential. There's like a different part of them, like their higher self may be indicating that like this is a past life connection between the two of you. There's some kind of bigger purpose to your presence in one another's lives, you supporting one another through kind of leveling up into versions of yourself that are meant to have like an impact on people around you. Maybe even the nature of your love story itself, the journeys you've individually been on to come to this place in your life, or your experience with one another. You're meant to share that with other people, or kind of use these experiences to help other people heal the world around you in some sort of way through like a process of a healing journey or experience, where this person is recognizing all the efforts that they have made to kind of make the most of their situation, come to a place of peace with their past, any kind of trials and tribulations that they've been through in life, where they've had to like go it alone, they've had to learn to love themselves, you know, kind of make peace with a lot of things that didn't work out as they had expected, or missed opportunities that they can never kind of turn back the hands of time and capture those moments again, or close doors that just can't be opened once more. That there's a sense of almost redemption in the form of this connection, that there's still the ability to have joy, there's still the ability to live a well-rounded, balanced, very fulfilling life, and it's in the form of you and this connection between the two of you. This is like the rewards for all of their struggles, and so it feels like they don't want to move impulsively or too quickly with you, because there's a sense of like, I want to make the most of this moment. I want to savor this threshold that we stand at, the threshold at the beginning of so much beauty between the two of us, and also kind of grieving and releasing a version of themselves that had been on like survival mode. They're getting ready to step into the experience of thriving with you, romantically speaking, and there's a sense of like, even within this stillness, it is redefined the meaning of love. Like they feel that there's some kind of unspoken understanding between the two of you, and kind of in terms of just a moment of silence for this period of time before daybreak, before the dawning of like the next phase of your connection, or who you will both become as shaped by this love moving forward together. They also say, I need to discover myself and learn to love myself before I could truly love you properly. Yeah, so this person is recognizing that a lot of difficulties that they've faced, challenges that they've faced, ways in which they settled for less than that they deserved, or put their trust in the wrong people, prioritized the wrong things, that had led to a lot of loneliness, a lot of apathy, kind of a closed off, shut down, cold energy, somebody with their walls up, somebody with their guard up. You've managed to get through that. You've like materialized on the other side of that guardedness. And it's almost like the more they've come home to themselves, you've been there all along, to where they sense that there's a lot of healing that is possible between the two of you in whatever the next step is in your connection with one another. But this is somebody who's trying to do their due diligence to make sure that they smooth out any rough edges within themselves that they might have been working on, kind of like checking that work again, just to make sure, like, am I really ready to be a force for good in this person's life? They don't want to add to your struggles. They don't want to add to your misery and confusion. They want to show up in a way that creates the best possible odds of success between the two of you. So this is somebody who's doing like an inventory inside of themselves. What do I need to heal? What do I need to release? What do I need to be aware of within me, so that as we take steps forward, we're not going to be caught off guard by, uncharted aspects of the shadow, wounds that are still embedded that could come up and sabotage what we could have moving forwards. This is something that's almost protecting the future between the two of you by taking things very slow at this time, or there's a desire to do that for almost like a momentary period. They also say, your energy is so infinitely beautiful. I could bask in your effervescence all day and night. So you have a very nurturing, life-giving energy. They see you as the perfect complement to themselves. All aspects of like destructiveness within them, they're able to move past that, see a different way forward, find ways to have compassion for themselves, or to repurpose these aspects into something useful. There's a sense that they feel that you're the yin to their yang. You are their perfect complement. Even with all that still remains to be discovered between the two of you, there's a sense of understanding. There's a sense of like, we are the two complementary components for one another. Out of the billions of people on this planet, it's you and I that are properly fitted to one another. That this might be somebody who's kind of just moved through their life feeling like, well, maybe I don't have a soulmate. Maybe I don't have a person. Maybe I'm better off alone. Maybe all I do is kind of ruin relationships, or leave people worse for wear. And it's almost like there's a sense of transcending beyond that kind of notion about themselves. You're encouraging this person to open up to the experience of love again, to believe themselves lovable and worthy of receiving love, no matter what they've done, no matter what the history in their life has been, or even experiences between the two of you in the past where they could have pushed you away, they could have closed their heart, almost like, you're better off without me. I'll only kind of bring destruction to your life. And that might have been the case. There could have been a lot of destruction in this situation. But it's almost like you've moved beyond all of that, or they've moved beyond a place of holding on to that kind of resentment towards themselves, seeing themselves as just kind of a chaotic person who isn't worthy and deserving of like a higher level or a transcendent love, or even love at all. You've held space for this person. You've given this person time and space. You've helped them to have their dignity intact as they've moved through this process of kind of grieving, groveling within themselves, denying their feelings, coming to a place of acceptance. And all the while, there's been the sense of, I'm still showing up for you. I'm still here. The love that I have for you, it's unconditional. They've never experienced something like this with anyone before. Not even their parents, not even like close personal friends. There's a sense of, you're not just a doormat for this person. You're somebody who has a very high standard, who created balance in your life, and therefore there's a proper place to kind of receive the balance that they are endeavoring to cultivate as well. So they're again seeing that it's no accident you come into one another's lives, that you're linked, you're entwined, you're on this kind of strange journey towards becoming like the best versions of yourselves that wouldn't be possible in as effective of a way with like anybody else. They also say, I've never liked a smile as much as I like yours. So your smile has the ability to wash away all of their fears, all of their kind of dark thoughts, all of their moodiness. They see you and instantly it's any hurt is kind of replaced with the sense that it'll be okay. You give this person breathing room almost, being in your presence, being in your energy, even when they've pushed you away and have kind of just cradled themselves in a very sort of dark and lonely and hurting place. There's a sense that your presence has been very pervasive. You've been that component on the other side of kind of that pessimism, the depression, the defeatist thoughts. You're that person that is kind of there, those open and welcoming arms as they come back home to themselves, or kind of dig themselves out of holes, literally or metaphorically. That there's a sense of, I return to you, I always return to you. You're that place of balance and rightness for me. They also say, in my eyes, I see no one else but you. There is no comparison or replacement for this love. I'm sorry it took so long to figure this out. So this person definitely wants to make up for lost time, make up for any periods in this connection where they pushed you away, denied their feelings, didn't feel worthy to receive what you had to offer. And so it's like, you're better off with someone else. I'm only going to hurt you. I'm only going to disappoint you. It's like they've moved beyond all of that, and they've seen nothing serves their future with kind of that very sort of reactive energy. So this is somebody that's getting ready to move into receiving mode and to also take action steps towards you, to not just kind of give empty words of apology or, gloss over the past like nothing has happened. There's a sense of like, I want to acknowledge my shortcomings. I want to acknowledge the ways in which I projected onto you or just assumed you would be like everybody else who would reject me, hurt me, leave me, abandon me, would use me. And there's a sense of, trying to make up for that through actions, making up for that with like this effort within themselves to ensure that it's like, okay, I'm well aware of the names of all my shadows. I have my demons inventoried. I know what, my role in my past suffering is very obviously. I know how others have hurt me in the past. And with that kind of conscious awareness, shining that light on those dark parts of themselves that they've been afraid to look at, had been in denial about, or just oblivious to, there's a sense of, in this way I can give you the gift of self-awareness, and together we can move forward to create something that is deeper, is more true than I've had with anybody else, or than I've allowed us to create with one another up to this point. They also say, it is a miracle to find the kind of peace and happiness that you have given me. So your energy, your presence is medicinal to this person. You have the ability to turn their darkest days into something that, they can endure with the understanding of it'll get better. The pressure will release. The tides will turn in one's favor. The tables will turn. There's always a new opportunity to begin again. Your words of wisdom ring true within their heart and within their mind. They may also be watching you from afar, and kind of getting a lot of inspiration and almost reassurance if you've been going through struggles as well that they're aware of, or that they can just sense energetically. The way in which you keep putting one foot in front of the other and carrying forth, kind of persevering, or even the times where you sort of closed off into yourself, you've honored the need for rest, going into hermit mode, kind of instilling those healthy boundaries and barriers with people and things in your life. All of this has been very reassuring and inspirational for this person, that I don't just have to keep pushing myself to the limits. I'm allowed to have my bad days as well as my good days, and I can still show up. I can still create balance, that whatever kind of topples will be rebuilt in a stronger and better form, including the idea of whatever has been torn asunder in this relationship. They're motivated to lay a new foundation with you, crack open those dormant seeds of potential from your past and move forward diligently, honestly, and more enthusiastically than they had previously. I also say, I dream of you almost every night. So it feels like this person sets the intentions to dream of you. They may send you loving thoughts and vibes before they go to sleep. You're part of their prayers. You're their answered prayer. And there's a sense of the exchange between the two of you energetically in the dream space. It has a lot of healing for them. It's a very healing effect. They might almost sense that you come to them even without needing to ask or kind of invoke your energy in some sort of way. It's like you can just intuit when things are going awry, when things are going wrong. If there's still communication between the two of you, you may on multiple occasions without even knowing it have just sort of like reached out to this person with like a message, or you sent them something and it was like just what they needed. It was just that little spark, just that little bit of inspiration, just that little thing to make them smile. You may be the only person at times that make them smile in a day. You are something that is the alternative to a pervasive apathy which is settled over them in general or at this point in their life. You're somebody that gives them hope as far as whatever their current circumstances are, whatever the past has looked like between the two of you or for them personally, that it's like there's still time to create a new dream. There's still time to move forth beyond the hurt, beyond the sorrow, beyond the disappointment, beyond the lack, beyond the loss, and to create gains, to create better memories, better experiences, better days for themselves and also with you. You also say, you are my muse, my beautiful inspiration. So you may be inspiring this person to create things artistically as a way to kind of channel their emotions. If they're already artistically inclined, it can definitely be something that you have factored into the subject matter of whatever it is that they create. This can also, though, speak to, striving to sort of utilize the pain and the hurt they hold inside, coupled with a lot of raw potential to sort of recreate their existence, recreate their life, create a new chapter between the two of you that involves less resistance, less pushing this away, less kind of holding in a stubborn manner on to like hurt of the past or, kind of a jadedness towards love that might have been the case when you came into their life. There's a sense of, I want to release all of that and lean into the experience that love doesn't have to hurt. Relationships don't have to be such hard work and such a disappointment, that I'm worthy of experiencing something that gets in deep to my soul, but has a very positive effect. And so all of these kind of feelings or these things which are churning up within, it feels like it's gearing this person up to like create a fresh start with you, to start to show up in a different way to this situation, soften from the place of resistance, even kind of keeping you at arm's length to sort of protect you from these kind of jagged parts of themselves and any wounding that has happened, anything where they've been going through like a tough time. And it's just like, I don't want to take that out on you, so I'm just going to kind of push you away until I get my bearings again. There's a sense of you're motivating them to kind of actively and as quickly as possible sort of move beyond that resistance to surrender to the flow of this connection. They also say, I know a lot more than I let on. Yeah, so things have been silent between the two of you. They definitely been watching you, definitely been keeping tabs on you. You have shown this person a new face of love, a new face of connection. You've shown this person what loyalty, what consistency is, what a support system involves on like a deeper level. You supported this person without knowing it, just even in like respecting their boundaries, honoring their need for space, not chasing them, not kind of, having outbursts or, totally collapsing in your own life in the aftermath of what has happened. Even if you've had a lot of pain to kind of hold on to, it's like you've worn it well. You've continued to kind of show up as best as you can in your own life, and it's inspiring this person to show up differently for themselves and also with you moving forward. So let's get some initials. This can be a first, middle, or last name, or can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. got V, U, Z, W, M, L, C, X, V, G, O, S, P, B, L, I, H, E, R, A, F, and I. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.